100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Wednesday, OU game day.
Oh, yes, sir.
Game day, you can see Big E got his OU gear on from his hat to his sweatshirt to his feet. He representing OU because you know why? Because they're going what hunting tonight?
Duck hunting.
Little duck hunting. Folks, yeah, we're shooting the show a little bit early and the results will come out Friday, but you already know who's going to win this ball game.
Who's going to win?
Oh, you're going to take care of business because you got Big Bob Seuss back in the house.
Big Game Bob.
Big Game Bob. Here we got the man, Big RT. He's going to celebrate his OSU Cowboys down there with the PlayStation Bowl. Everybody get a PlayStation 5. That's a pretty cool deal. Hey, somebody on that team, sell me your PlayStation because I know you're going to need money, some food. So sell me your station. What's going on, guys? We ain't did a show in a couple of weeks. I know people's been under the weather.
Yeah.
We've had a little Christmas.
Yeah.
We got Happy New Year right around the corner.
Yep.
What's going on, fellas?
What you got to eat?
Man, had a great holidays, Christmas. Got a little spoiled. We was talking about it earlier before the show, but, got a lot of love from all the family this year.
That's
Highly
awesome.
appreciate that. And
Did
then
you get that hat?
No, I've had this hat for a while.
Okay, it looks
so.
like it.
How old
that?
is it?
Oh, a few years.
Big Bob wore that.
I've had it for a few years.
He's
But
had it since 2000.
yeah, it looks a little retro, a little throwback.
Hey,
but-
It is a
that
throwback.
looks good though, man.
Yeah.
You know that old look.
yeah,
You
for
got
sure.
that. You look like an old paper, like you throw newspaper for a living.
Why are you clouding me, Tony?
Hey! You try to get on me the other night about my boy LeBron.
Yeah,
So we live now. So I'm gonna tell everybody.
This
hey,
dude thinks LeBron is the best basketball player.
he
to
is
ever
the
play.
best basketball
But he's
player.
not.
I got to go watch
He's
him
not.
live a couple weeks ago. Me and my baby girl. I'm telling you, LeBron is legit. People can talk about MJ. Everybody can talk about what LeBron, how many teams he's been on. Hey, that's just like all these other high school teams. These kids are jumping teams. So LeBron started it, and everybody's following him.
That's not being a good leader.
Well, I'm sorry he's not a good leader, but hey, you got to go where
You know
that
who was a good leader?
who was a good leader?
Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
The
but let me
greatest
tell you what
basketball
Jordan
player
did.
of
Let
all
me
time.
tell you what Jordan did.
Go.
Let me tell you what Jordan did.
All right.
He didn't leave teams. He brought people to him. Steve Kerr, Paxson, Rodman. I mean, think about it. He didn't leave. He just
Okay,
brought him to
but
him.
here's the thing, though. Would Scottie Pippen be Scottie Pippen without Michael Jordan? Would
Shot-
Dennis Rodman be Dennis Rodman
Nah,
without
Dennis
Michael
was,
Jordan?
Nah, you can't knock
Would
Dennis.
Steve Kerr be Steve
time
Kerr
out.
without
You
Michael
can't-
Jordan?
You can't knock Dennis Rodman because
Russell
Dennis
Westbrook
Rodman,
already said himself. Okay, so now we're comparing it to the super team that LeBron got.
Time out.
Russell
Westbrook is horrible.
he has been playing pretty
he
bad
is
this
Westbrook.
year. As big as a Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook.
Mr. Triple Double.
Triple double. I mean, when? When's the last time he said that?
I don't know.
I mean, exactly. We've all slept since then.
But then
you
he brought on Anthony Davis. Anthony
Anthony
Davis was
Davis
already a
is
superstar.
softest NBA player. If you touch him, he falls over and he's out.
So does
3 to 4
LeBron.
weeks.
Yeah.
No, LeBron, man, he's 37, 38 years old.
I don't
Anthony's
care.
still in his 20s, 29, 31 years old. Come on, man. Don't hate on the king. That's all I got to say.
LeBron
Don't
is
hate
great, but not the greatest.
He
Right.
he might not be the greatest. I mean, him and George
There
right
we
there.
go.
I'm not gonna say he's the greatest, but at this time right now,
I
he's
put
a.
LeBron behind Kobe.
I mean, yeah.
I would say the same
I
thing.
mean, I mean, Kobe's done this thing, but I'm saying right now in this day and age, LeBron's one of the best, hands down.
One of the best.
One of the best.
But not the best.
Yeah.
Who's the best right now?
Right now,
Right now, you can't answer that.
man, I think
I would go with KD.
yeah, KD.
I mean,
As-
KD's
as
got to
much
jump 3 or 4
saltiness I
different
feel for
teams.
him
He
leaving
jumped,
OKC.
Cupcake has jumped a couple different teams. Ain't nobody talking about that. You like KD when he was here at OKC? Go KD, go KD. You was that guy sitting in the stands
I
cheering
was.
for him. But now he left. You was mad at him. But I guarantee you right now, LeBron came to the Thunder. You'd be right there every week, every game.
I don't want LeBron on the Thunder straight up.
LeBron ain't gonna come here.
No,
You
no,
blame him? I wouldn't come here.
I don't blame him.
And I'm gonna give a little bit of love to Thunder. I've been a couple of games, man. They've been playing good. I mean, they got a decent young team, man. They keep the pieces together. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we went from Oklahoma High School sports to NBA.
Yeah,
We got Stephen A. Smith on here, you know. I mean, what we're doing. You know what I'm saying.
Like that?
Yeah, that's what he be doing. Hey, let me tell you about LeBron. Steven's hairline way up here. Well, let's get this baby started because I'm telling you, man, I missed you guys, man. It's been a couple weeks. I know we've been kept in touch with each other, you know, through text messages and phone, man. And, you know, Christmas was great. I got to have RT over on Christmas Eve, spend some time with my family. Big E was out playing his new PlayStation 5. Yeah. You know, he's doing his thing, man. Like you see, he got all his OU gear on, man. That's what we love about him. He loves the Sooners. So, you Sooner fans that watch the show, man, you got a guy that loves the Sooners, 100%. So let's get it started, man. What y'all want to talk about first? Because, you know, I know sports right now is kind of slow. You know, we got the holiday breaks, but, you know, you got some good basketball tournaments going on.
Yep.
You got some good wrestling going on. I know Carl Albert went down and won the Weatherford tournament.
Yeah.
Took first place. Great job to Coach Hodge and Coach Miller. I think, you know, your son, he took third. Second place. I mean, that's good, dude. You know, coming from not wrestling in 2 years and you know, being a runner-up and you know, and wrestling a weight up.
Yeah, he wrestled up. 12 pounds.
Yeah, 12 pounds. I mean, and that's tough, man, when you're giving up 12 pounds to a kid that probably had to cut weight to get to his weight. So that just tells you what, you know, Coach Hodges has done with that Colorado program. He has turned them guys around and you know, he had a state champion last year, and looks like he's going to do the same thing against this year in 5A and compete with it, you know. And there's some good things going on, you know, like Dale City, they're playing the Tournament of Champions tonight. Congratulations, Coach Lenny. I know you guys will catch this show after.
I think what is it, overtime?
No, he beat the number one team in the state last night, Jinx. You know, 6A, baby, big 6A. There ain't no small 6A. It's all one 6A, and he beat them guys last night. You know, him being a 5A team, you know, coming off a state championship. But I tell you, you know, people didn't think he could play with a 6A team, and he just, guess what he did? He just knocked them off. Yep. He'll play Tulsa Memorial tonight in the state championship. That's the number one team in 5A. He's the number 3. He's the number,
I want Middale to win.
Hey, Middale, we want Middale to win. And I tell you right now, you know, Carl Albert suffered their first loss in the Mustang tournament. You know, they lost to Mustang, you know,
was up at halftime.
you know, 53-41. And, you know, and we're going to get on this real quick because I went to that Carl Albert. Like I said, we've been, you know, it's been a couple weeks we ain't been on the show, but I went to that Carl Albert Midwest City game. And I tell you, you know, Carl Albert's a team, man. They're young. And I tell you right now, I know they got beat by Mustang. Mustang's a big 6A team. You know, Carl Albert is still a small 5A team, but Carl Albert got about 5 to 6 juniors on that team that can go. I mean, that Hutch Russell, man. I mean, the other night he went for 27 points. This kid's a sophomore?
I think he's a
sophomore. You know, and I mean, they got some players, man. You know, they got some. Deshaun, I mean, they got some guys. That receiver kid, Quincy. I mean, before he leaves, he's just a sophomore too, right?
Yeah.
Before he leaves Carl Albert High School, he'll have multiple offers in football and basketball, especially if he still plays that.
Dude's an athlete. For sure.
If he plays that, you know, receiver spot and they get him playing some defensive back, man, I'm telling you, the kid is long and lanky. You know, everybody talk about Jordan Mukes, but I think Quincy's a little bit better athlete than Jordan, just, you know, as far as controlling his body type. But I mean, I'm just telling you, man, Coach Price and Coach Dunn, you know, you guys got yourself a winner with that young man, though. But I just tell you, man, Carl Albert's girls number one. You know, they knocked off Midwest City, like I said, a couple weeks ago, and I think they're still undefeated at this time. You know, I have Coach Knight on this week. You know, with me talking keeping 100 Oklahoma high school sports girls basketball. Something I'll be going out on site, you know, each week and touching base with different high school coaches from basketball to wrestling, and just kind of, you know, make myself around as, you know, since football is winding down. And my goal is to try to get Edmond North's coach on here and talk about the Edmond North's being ranked number one in high school basketball. You know, I mean, guy's a great coach, so I'd like to get him on. I know Choctaw's ranked, I think they ranked like number 5 in high school wrestling. Still got Stillwater. So, I mean, we got a lot of different sports going on, but I just tell you right now, you know, we're kind of in that dead zone. You know, we're kind of this week, I mean, we're shooting just to let everybody see our face again. RT slapped me around all morning. It's like, wow, we shoot, everything's going to be, but we got to shoot a little bit just to let everybody know, keeping 100 ain't folded. You know, we're just trying to get bigger and stronger.
Actually been working on some things.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Whenever you announce it,
Hey,
I'm excited.
Hey, you announced a big. Hey, I'm talking a lot. I need y'all to talk a little bit.
You've been working hard on this, man. I'm really proud of what you guys have done. You've been saying it for a minute, and
what's that, RT? Help me.
Know, actions speak louder than words.
Talk to me, RT.
You know
I mean, you and Big E talk to me.
Oftentimes, everyone does a good job. All the media outlets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A lot of them do get paid.
Yeah.
At this time, no one on this show has been paid.
No, sir.
But you continue to work really hard to help these kids that may be overlooked get some exposure, make it to the next level, as well as recognizing these coaches. And in addition to that, man, I mean, what you gonna drop on them? I would love to be in these kids' shoes and have the opportunity.
Are you talking about the scholarship?
The scholarship.
Scholarship. Hey. People think we just be talking, man, but you know what, man? One thing about me, man, when you put my back against the wall, coming from 320 East Boeing, and you don't know about that because they ain't there no more, but Coles coming from East, and I'm gonna tell you something real quick, man, and I'm gonna keep it 100. That's one thing I like about this show because I can keep it 100. You know, I got something special the other day. It's pretty cool that this company we're going to a bigger and better place. But I'm gonna tell you something though that I'm proud of myself, and people's gonna look at me like, man, this dude is crazy for saying this. But I'm gonna tell you, man, from a guy that couldn't read and write, like myself, to come up to where I'm at now. A lot of people don't know that. I give a lot of thanks to my wife Jessica, and I'm even gonna give a little bit to my ex-wife Kristen. Kristen Wheeler. She helped me a lot. And people are like, oh, but because at the end of the day, man, I was just a hell of an athlete. But I kind of got pushed through. And that's one thing that why we're trying to do the scholarship, because, sometimes my brother and I sitting and texting the other day, and he's like, man, a lot of it's because, you was a great athlete, so they wanted you to play on Friday night. They want you to cover that best corner. But, man, it ain't all about being a great athlete. It's all about getting that education.
Yeah. It is, but your great work ethic carried through.
Yeah.
Not only through the sports, but as a father, a husband, provider, and you continue to do that. So no matter what limitations that you have,
yes, sir.
Whether you're tall, slow, you're not the fastest, not the strongest, that consistent work ethic, time over time, will continue to make a way for you, and that's what you've done, man.
And I appreciate that because a lot of times people don't want to talk about their handicap. We all got some kind of handicap. But I worked my butt off to get to where I'm at. Am I still the best speller? Hell no. I ain't gonna go win a spelling bee. Am I the best typer? Hell no. But one thing I've done, I've worked hard at it. My wife has showed me a lot of things, and a lot of other people showed me a lot of things. I'm always gonna probably misspell a word or say a word wrong. I ain't never got nobody's. I don't even get my damn kids' name right. They my kids.
But we all got these smartphones, but they making us dumb sometimes.
Yeah.
But I want to say, thank you, for the scholarship and, along with, Clutch Culture helping out, being a big sponsor of it. And then, Eric Sanford with, Line X, Oklahoma City, man, being a big part of it, man. Awesome, and these guys, we ran their ads, and like RT just said, and he said, we don't get paid a dime, but, it's time for us to get back, and we are giving back, man. We got a little, I don't know if we might put a little sample up, and I have put it up, what we're going to do. We haven't finalized the day, but it is going to happen. It ain't just no talk. So, some young man or woman, or even a person that's in a trade school, that, hey, if he comes out and writes an essay and the things that we look for, and we'll sit down and we'll have somebody pick it. It won't be us. It ain't going to be no favoritism. Yeah. We want kids we're going to tweet this all out to all the high school kids from every high school and to their admin and to their, counselors, that somebody that plays sports or, plays sports, and maybe they're not going to go play college ball. Maybe they're going to go to a trade school, and it can help them pay for their trade school. So, something that Keep It 100 is going to do, it'll drop any, we haven't set the deadlines, but me and RT kind of talked a little bit today, and we're thinking right after high school state basketball state, girls and boys in wrestling state, and then, and have this out so the kid can get it right before he ready to go off to college. And we'll try to do this every year. I was going to try to do, 2 times a year, but, trying to get the sponsors to do all that. We might do a 500, spring and a 400 fall, 500 fall. We can do that, but, something we'll look at. But we will be giving away $1,000 scholarship to a young man or woman, and like I said, whoever gets it, we'll get the picture taken with him, and then we'll have the 2 guys that's help sponsor and help providing the money be along with the picture. So, but like I said, we'll send a little clip out. You'll see it, but here in the next couple of weeks, you'll start seeing the tweets, and you want everybody to retweet. And we want people to follow us because we're right there on that edge of being real big time. And I'm like RT said, you ain't got no other people doing this what we're trying to do. I don't see Vibe giving no money out. I don't see OK Prep, Squirtle, none of those guys. So we want you guys to jump on board and be part of Keep It 100, because at the end of the day, it's all about family.
Absolutely.
Family.
Yeah.
He talked to me over there. You being quiet. I know you kind of nervous because you're Sooners.
No, I'll just let you give your spiel. But yeah, I absolutely once we drop that out, anybody, like Tony said, man, woman, that you think is deserving of that scholarship. We'll have all the requirements and everything like that that'll drop with it and everything. So it'll be something to look forward to, and we'll keep pushing that. But yeah, as far as basketball goes, we have some tournaments going on tonight. We have some games going on tonight.
Championship Wednesday night.
Tournament of Champions in Tulsa.
That's big time.
Got the Mustang tournament.
Mustang. Yep. I don't know who's in the finals of that yet. I think
Mustang.
I didn't get the.
Go to my notes.
I want to say there's
PC North and Mustang.
Oh,
PC North and Mustang playing tonight.
North is not a bad team. They knocked off. I guess sophomore knocked off Midwest City Boys, and the funny thing is, the night I went and watched Carl Albert and Midwest City Boys play, and Mr. Collier was like, man, you'll see a rematch of Midwest City and Carl Albert in that Mustang tournament, and they both either one have made it to the finals. That's just how tough it is. I tell you, man, I went to that Midwest City Carl Albert game, man. It's one of the best high school games I got to watch. And I don't get to do too much high school because at the time when high school was going on, basketball was going on, my son was wrestling. And, Zoe's kind of been slow. She's been playing mostly on the weekend. So I like taking her, and me and Jessica and Zoe went to that Carl Albert Midwest City game. And I tell you, it was a great game, boys and girls, man. And I tell you, Carl Albert girls, people don't really talk about, the girls a lot over Carl Albert, but man, coach got them going in the right direction, man, and they can do some special things, man, because they got some girls that can shoot. Not a lot of size, but I think overall Midwest City's a better team. I think once Coach Knight get her hands on those girls, man, because a lot of those girls have been hurt and they lost one of their best players in the first quarter. I haven't got details. I'll find more of that out, when I do the Coach Knight show. But I just tell you, once these girls at Midwest City get going, it's going to be hard to beat them. But congratulations to them. They did go out and take second place in the Enid tournament. They got beat by Edmond Memorial in overtime, which is a big 6A team. And in Midwest City right now, they used to be 6A, but they're 5A now. Right. So they did lose to them in overtime. But hey, that's all right though, man. I mean, I think the when you play the best competition, it's gonna make you better when it's time for you to start playing people in your own division. So like I said, great job to Coach Knight and Coach Richie over at Carl Albert, what they're doing, and Coach Price and Coach Pig over at Midwest City. They're doing big things, and nobody can talk about Lenny Hatch. He's coming off a state championship, and really truly Lenny should have had two, but COVID got his first one because the tournament got canceled. But right now, I'll tell you, Lenny's taken some loss. He's lost to Norman North, and he's lost to PC West twice. But he bounced back. When he finds a way, man, the guy's been doing it, 20 some years, man, and you find a way, man. When you're a great coach, man, you find a way to win. But Dale C's just doing big things, man. Congratulations to Coach Jones.
Yeah, making that.
He made All-State coach. From Dale City. Do you got that list of some of the other coaches on there, Big E?
Yeah. You sent me that.
Yes.
Real quick before we get back to football, we talked about 6A and 5A girls, but what about the 4A girls? Class SAS.
Absolutely.
They lost in the championship only by 2. Man, that squad is the real deal.
Somebody might be looking at
that. May be the best team in Oklahoma.
Best team. Now. No, you're right. Hey, but PC West girls is pretty salty too now, aren't they? I tell you, a lot of them.
I think they lost.
They lost.
They got one loss.
They got one loss. I know a lot of those girls are BTR, and they come under under Coach Lenny Burt, and those guys. The head coach out of Newcastle, I know he has his hands on a lot of those girls. They run a great organization with Coach Douglas out of El Reno, so she does a good job. So BTR is probably one of the better AAU teams here in Oklahoma. I know you got Team Griffin and all them, but I just tell you right now, basketball is hot in Oklahoma, man. You got some, Lenny, I saw Lenny the other night at dinner, man. Lenny Burt, she got her second offer. OU offered in North Texas just now. She's a sophomore, I think. She's a freshman or sophomore. Hey, she already got 2 offers, and this girl's just a freshman. Yeah. So I just tell you what, and Lenny was a hell of a defensive player, and the guy was a great guard at Midwest City. He's done great things at PC West basketball, his football team. Maybe he should do away with that, but we still love you, Coach Burt. But I just tell you though, man, I mean, PC West, boys and girls, I mean, those girls got a good chance to win it. But I tell you, a team you got to watch out in girls basketball is Edmond North. Edmond North can play. Yeah. I tell you, man, I know people probably like, Edmond North.
Yeah, they're
hey, them girls can go, man. I'm telling you, what they got, they kind of look like Connecticut. They just got some girls that can go and shoot. And you got some shooters, man. You're going to win a lot of ball games, and you play good defense. People think you got to have a bunch of athletes to run up and down the court. No, if you got some girls that can block out and do the right things, man, you're gonna do some big things though. You know, Tata girls, man, they're undefeated right now in girls basketball. You know, I know they got a great movement with, you know, Hunt's daughter, you know, came from PC North. Now she's over here at Tata running the guard for them. And so with the girls they already had, and you add her, and you lost 2 girls that was going to be freshmen, the Eric Gooden's daughters, you know, you lost them. And you think if you had that,
they're doing good things over where they're at.
Hey, they doing big things. Every time I look up on Eric's Facebook or Twitter, man, they win in every tournament. He took them to a team there in Arkansas, that team that's won a couple state championships. You know, he did his research before he went out to Arkansas. Like, who can I put my babies on? And guess what? He got them on a salty team out there in Arkansas.
Yeah, but I just wanted to talk about, you know, how Oklahoma high school basketball is getting put on the map. I mean, you got kids coming out with the likes of Trae Young. You know, he's in the NBA doing his thing. Yes, sir. Yep. And then you got Trey Alexander, a freshman over there at Creighton, doing big things.
Hey, they had him. I watched a little interview on him the other day, Big E. And I mean, I guess he did some. He covered one of the best players of the team that they beat the other night. They beat I think it was Seton Hall. They beat somebody, you know, big time, a big time school, and he covered a guy, man. And you know, he's just a freshman and getting games. And I tell you, another kid that came out of Del City is young. You know, they call him Slim. Slim's over there playing for Vipo and getting games as a true freshman. So that just tell you, Oklahoma, you putting them on the map though, big time.
And then like with PC North, one of their guys, they made that 3-quarter shot to send it into OT, made Sports Center top 10.
Okay. So, RT put that's what we do, folks. We don't just talk about football. We talk about everything. That's why it's called Keep It 100 Oklahoma. What?
High school sports.
I love it. Right on key, baby.
Right on key.
Hey, would you say said it late, but what?
Got it straight.
There you go. And then I finally got that picture that you sent me up of the OCA all-state coaches and who's going to be coaching.
On the West, this is the West coaches. I don't care about the East coaches. Right. We care about the West coaches.
No, we cover the whole state.
Yeah,
but I ain't got them.
Well, I got it pulled up. So on the East side, the head coach of the East side is going to be Coach Redding from Collinsville.
Okay, congratulations, state champion.
And then we got Brett Jones from Bristow. Okay. That'll be a part of that
coaching staff.
So coaching staff, and then you got Jarrett Hurt. Does that say Hurt? Yes, Jarrett Hurt from Claremore. Picture is a little small. It's hard to see the names here. And then you got Coach Odom from Poto.
And they did some big things this year.
Yeah, and then that's the east side. And on the west side, you have Coach Ballard from Tuttle. That'll be the head coach of the West squad.
But he got beat in the state championship, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But but they had a really good season this year.
Yeah, good year.
And then you got Coach Severin from Timberlake. And then you got Coach, what does that say? It's hard to read here. Coach Headley from Anadarko.
Okay.
And then finally, a guy that we've been in talks with all year long. Tony had the show with him, Coach Robert Jones of Del City.
Coach Jones.
Be a part of that all-state.
Congratulations, sir.
Congrats, man. I mean, that's big time, man. And this is
as a first-year head coach.
Yes, sir.
Winning a district championship, things didn't go as planned in the playoffs, but I mean.
But you know what I like to say about that, though, Big E? You know, you talk about Coach Jones, being a first-year coach. You got a lot of these coaches around here, Coach Dunn, Coach Corbin, Coach Martin that was over at Harrod. You got Coach Blink over at Harrod, and you got, Coach Ginn over at Bethel. And these guys have been with their program, a few years, and Coach Jones comes in his first year and take Del City. They lose in the first round to Sand Springs. You call it an upset, but do you really call it an upset? Sand Springs.
I mean, they've been a tough team all year.
Yeah, so. I mean, and there was a dark horse, kind of like Deer Creek, but you got to give it up to the man because he did. Like I said, man, to get this and be an all-state head coach, that's big time. And there's a lot of coaches around this 405 that ain't even got that, and for him to get that over his counterparts, a Corbin and a Coach Dunn and a Coach Hall here in this metro area. Hey, that's big time. So that's a big shout out, man. And I just tell you right now, when you win, everybody wants to jump on the winning train, man. If you're losing, that train stays at the track. But he's winning, man. Kids are going to come in. He ain't going to worry about nobody coming cherry picking off his team. Yeah. People's going to jump on his cherry tree and want to grow from his branch because what he's doing over there in Del City, he's doing big things, man. I mean, from the basketball, to the football. I mean, to track. I mean, a few years ago they were state champion. They're putting kids in college. Coach. Jaden Foreman, one of the kids has already signed with Oklahoma State. Last night goes out and has, goes out and have 20 points. It just tells you right there, this kid's a 6'4" kid, and before he even started playing football, he was counted as one of the top, basketball players in the state, and he kind of took the right turn. But hey, I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps putting up those kind of numbers. That a KU, or you got the one kid on the team that's already getting looked at, the 6'9" kid. But I just tell you, Foreman keeps putting up those type of numbers, man, and he's an athlete. Somebody else might be coming knocking on that door, not just for football. Hey, you might have some basketball coaches sitting in his mom and dad's living room.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to get these rankings pulled up, the basketball rankings from boys and girls side, and then then after we talk about that, we can go into some of the wrestling rankings as well.
Yeah, yes. Well, real quick though, man, I just want to give a shout out to Coach, the new head coach Jones' new head coach, Coach Kevin Witt. I know that job is probably special to him. He's been offensive line coach. Now he's going to be the head coach. And I tried to get him on the show today, and he was just too busy for me. That's all right, Coach. Don't forget who helped you win that 6th grade championship. Because, I just tell you, man, I understand you busy and you got to go to the girls' game and support the girls. But, Coach, when Keeper 100 calls you and knock on your door, you might want to answer.
We come visit them during spring ball.
No, we'll come visit them spring ball. You better put on the show when we come see you, baby. I'm telling you that.
We coming, Coach.
We coming, Coach.
All right.
And I'm going to send this directly to you.
Yeah,
congratulations to him, though.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so into these basketball rankings, this is the boys, and this is, I think this is all 6A rankings right here. So we got, in 6A, we'll just go through the top 10 here. You got Jinx 1, Edmond Memorial 2, and they're both sitting at 6-1. You got PC West at 3 at 7-1. Then you got Edmond North at 4 at 4-2. Then you got Broken Arrow at 5 sitting at 5-2. Moore at 6 sitting at 5-1. Norman North at 7 sitting at 6-3. And Owasso at 8 sitting at 5-1. Putnam City North sitting at 5-0. They're ranked 9. And then Mustang sitting at 8-1, and they're ranked 10th.
I tell you,
and
Mustang.
Those last two, Mustang and PC North, again, is playing tonight.
Yeah. And I tell you this, Mustang must be better than what people thought they were, because they're sitting there. But you got the Jacoby Johnson kid. You got the Jacoby Johnson kid that I don't know if he's gonna go to OU or not. No one ever said. You got the new coaching staff, but he was a defensive back that that committed early. You recruited him for football and basketball, so you got him on the team. I think he's about a 6'3", 6'4" guard. Is really athletic, can jump out of the gym. So, they must got some guys around him, because they're doing big things. It's like I said, they're playing tonight against PC North in the Mustang champion game. So, good luck to both teams.
Yeah, for sure. And then hopping on to the girls' side of 6A, you got Edmond North at 1, sitting at 8-0.
Edmond North
at 1.
Yeah, I tell you, that team is good.
Yeah, and then you got Choctaw at 2, sitting at 7-0.
Choctaw Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, and then you got Union at 3, sitting at 5-0. PC West girls sitting at 8-1. They're ranked 4. Then you got Norman at 5, sitting at 6-2.
That's the team that won it all last year.
Yep. And then you got Bixby at 6, sitting at 4-2. Then Tahlequah at 7, sitting at 8-2. Mustang at 8, sitting 8-1. Sand Springs at 9, they're undefeated, 4-0. They haven't been able to play as many games as some of these teams above them, which is probably why they're ranked lower, but they're undefeated nonetheless. And then you got Moore at 10, sitting at 5-2. So you got Moore that has both of their boys and girls ranked in the top 10.
That's big time.
PC West both ranked in the top 10. And what other schools? See, Mustang, they're both ranked in the top 10, boys and girls. And but yeah, so that's all for the 6A rankings. And
so
you got
Choctaw's boys wasn't ranked.
Choctaw's boys are not ranked. They're ranked 15 in the boys side. They're sitting at 4-2 right now. So, but yeah. So moving on to 5A boys. Let's see, here we go.
Memorial, huh?
Yeah. Memorial 13-0. Wow, they've been playing a lot of games.
They're going down tonight. Lenny gonna knock them off tonight. You heard it first on Keep It 100. You heard it first on Keep It 100 championship night. Lenny's gonna knock off T Memorial tonight.
All right. And then you got Carl Albert at 2, at 6-1. Dell City at 3. Midwest City at 4. So you got all 3 of those Middale schools.
Middale, hey,
ranked in
good
the
job,
top
Coach
5.
Andy Collier. You got him going, baby.
He does.
Andy, what you gonna do? Who you gonna cheer for though?
He's gonna root for all of them.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
He needs to get a shirt that says Carl Albert, Dell City, and the big M from Midwest City.
The big M.
The big M.
Or just like triple threat.
Triple threat.
Got all 3 of them.
All 3 of
So
them.
when we talking about basketball, triple threat. He said I put that together.
Oh, that's good. I think Chris Carver's gonna like that. That's the name of his company, the Triple Threat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he got triplets.
Well, there you go.
Oh, okay. That was a fun fact of the day.
Yeah.
Good job.
Then you got
Touch out something.
Yeah. Moving on here, we got Bishop McGuinness ranked 5, Coweta ranked 6, Southeast ranked 7, Ardmore 9, and Collinsville 10.
Collinsville will be doing some stuff out there.
Yeah, they're sitting at 6-1 right now, so they're having a pretty good start to their season. And then Edison Prep at 10. Girls 5A.
Carl Albert.
Yep, number 1, Carl Albert sitting at 8-0 with 16 first place votes. Then you got Sapulpa at 2.
Sapulpa's supposed to be a good team, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they can play for a state championship this year. They got it. They were young last year. They're in a tournament, but you can see them making some noise when it comes tournament time.
Absolutely. Then you got El Reno at 3.
Coach Douglas, you doing it like that, Coach Jennifer Douglas? My daughter plays against her daughter a little bit, so Coach Douglas been around. She's coached at Midwest City. She's on part of that state championship team when they were at Midwest City when the girls won it. So she does a good job, man. So kudos to her and what she does with El Reno, because you got to think, a lot of people ain't trying to pack up and move to El Reno, but every year she gets those girls in the big dance. So great job to her and what she's doing out there in El Reno.
Yep. And then you got Midwest City at 4, McAllister at 5, Memorial sitting at 6. They're also undefeated. Bishop Kelly at 7, Del City at 8, Duncan at 9, and Grove at 10. So again, you got 3 Mid-Del schools ranked in the top 10 on the girls' side. So
he I have to say Collier knows what he's doing, because if one, because it's like this, if one wins it, he's won.
Yep.
Because all 3 of them his school. You know what I'm saying? If he gets 2 in the finals, he's still a winner, because somebody's going to come out from Mid-Del a winner. But I got to ask you guys a quick question before you move on.
Yeah.
Do you think it's hard being number 1? Do you think there's a lot of pressure being number 1, as a basketball, as the season goes on? Because I think it's hard for anybody to go undefeated in basketball.
it's very hard to go undefeated in basketball.
So,
Very hard.
you just think it's just so tough, man. You think it's kind of like Colorado boys. They got beat the other night. They probably lost to a team they're probably better than. I mean, I know Mustangs in the championship, but you probably played that game 5 times. Colorado probably beats them 3 times.
Yeah. I would agree. But here's the thing about basketball is, I was like, it's a team sport. Don't get me wrong, but you have one person that goes off. I mean, goes off for 20, 30 points. And you got some of your starters that are they're sitting at around 10. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the difference in the game right there. So
or not even that. One of your better players can be in foul trouble.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors that play into basketball, and that's why it is a tough sport to win and continue to win at. I mean, at the college level, how often do you see the best team in the regular season actually come out and win the whole thing?
No,
right.
It's tough. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, being the number 1 seed and like I said, in the big dance, because you got all that pressure on you. Hey, I got to get there. That's why I said, it's crazy, because I think right now, the only reason I kind of brought that up is, you talk about Colorado girls being, number 1 in 5A, but those teams is right behind them, like Sapulpa, Midwest City, El Reno. They're sitting right behind them. You got all this pressure, like I gotta win. I know I was at that Carl Albert Midwest City game. Coach Doug was in the stands, and she's their scout. I was like, "What's she here?" But now I see why, because she's right on the doorstep knocking, trying to knock one of them off and move up and. In the playoff and in the area and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, it's all about that seeding, who's having home field advantage before you get to the big dance.
Yeah. And then, so 4A boys, just going to talk about some of these teams here and there, just because there's so many teams on here. But you got Kingfisher sitting at 1 in 4A on the boys in boys basketball. Kingfisher's been at the top of 4A in basketball for quite some time. You had Bijan Cortez come out of there. Last year, he's currently doing pretty big things with OU basketball, and OU basketball is doing pretty good this year.
OU's doing good.
Yeah, with Coach Moser, came over from Loyola over there in Chicago.
Okay, Big
So-
E.
Look at him.
Big E know his OU.
Yeah, he knows OU.
And man, I just like how fired up he is. You know, you had
Nah,
that,
he's
that
done a
big
great
game
job.
that they had against Florida at home. I mean, you see him after the game. He runs over to the student section. He's hyping them up, thanking him. And I think that's the perfect.
That's good.
I mean, Joe C got the perfect hire for basketball. Joe C's on a roll, man. As far as hires go, I'm sorry, I have to give some praise to.
Hey,
to
that's
Joe
your
C,
team.
but
That's
I mean,
your team. Talk him
yeah,
up.
but I mean, he's undoubtedly one of the best, if not the best, athletic directors in the country. So
No, he's good.
but yeah,
And I tell you, though, you talk about OU real quick. You know, you see Bob Stoops going to coach tonight, and you see Venables and him sitting on the field talking together, man. And you know, and what's nothing best having one of your best friends, good friends, coaching your team that you're going to take over, and the guy that's not, you know, think it's all about me. And I'm telling you right now, Bob Stoops was a big part of hiring Brent Venables.
Absolutely.
You know, he was, man, and they're putting their stuff together, man. What they have, you know, keeping. Yeah, they lost some coaches, but on the offensive side, you know, you kept DeMarco Murray, you kept Gil Gundy, you kept Joe Don Finley. I mean, you kept a lot of guys.
then you brought in a guy like Jeff Levy.
Yeah, a guy that played at OU or coached at OU, whatever he did. I mean, he's been there, so it just tells you what he's done with that staff. You know, I'm really waiting to see what Oklahoma State's going to do with their defensive coordinator situation because Knowles has moved on to the real OSU, he would say. But you know, who's going to take his place? Are they going to promote the guy that's the guy that was, you know, the defense?
Nah,
you
they
know,
gonna bring someone in.
yeah. I mean, so what happens to those guys? They bring some money. Is he going to bring his own coaches in? Is he going to let those guys go? Because, you know, Richmond's a coach, has been there for a while and does a good job out recruiting in the OKC
I
area.
think it was kind of like they may follow the same path they did before when Knowles came in.
Oh, okay.
Knowles came in, and I think he brought maybe a GA, and that was about it. And they, you know, kept everyone else. When you get a guy like Richmond who's played there and been in the program, familiar with especially the state of Oklahoma, that helps with recruiting and things like that. So Gundy's been really good at identifying some of these up and coming coaches. You know, I hate to say it, OSU is a stepping stone for some of these coaches.
Yeah, they get here to
But he's always had a good eye in bringing in, you know, these coaches, and next thing you know, they're getting these big roles or getting the money that they deserve. So
and they should, and they really should. I mean, you know, Oklahoma State's a great place to be at. But, you know, I mean, where would you rather be? You rather be in Stillwater, Oklahoma? Would you rather be in, you know, Ohio State? You know, and it's closer to his family. So, you know, he's done a great job. And, you know, somebody's going to go after that guy, man. The guy's a defensive mind genius, man. So, I mean,
he's even a better person.
A better person. And so now you add this guy to Ohio State's offense, and you bring his defense, and, you know, you see what OU's doing, man. I mean, somebody said the other day, it's like a blessing in disguise. Yeah, you lose Lincoln Riley, people are upset. But I think at the end of the day, you know, Venables went through his cussing and fire him, get rid of him, till he comes back. And that tells you right there what type of man he is. 4 or 5, well, it's been 10 longer than that. They wanted him out of here, you know. He couldn't coach. He ain't a good coach. But now he's come back and he's done some big things at Clemson, and people see that, hey, this guy can coach. And he knows he's a defensive mind guy, and he's bringing some offensive mind guys in. But it just tells you right there what type of guy he is, because most people have been bitter and upset that, oh, these guys wanted me fired. They didn't want me here. And he could have tucked his head between his head between his tails and never come back. But he decided, you know what? I'm going to be the bigger man. I think he's a Christian man. I think he's all about his family. He's all about his wife. And guess what? Man, when his wife walks right next to him, and that's what you got to have in this day and age. You know, I don't see Venables at the club. You know, I don't see him down at Bricktown. I think he's going to be the man, as a man of the word of God, and that goes a long way. And then, you know, there's a reason why he brought Smitty back, people that believes in him and trusts in him, and he knows, hey, this guy got my back. Than having somebody that, hey, that man, he's there for the kids. So I'll tell you right now, OSU, they got to probably worry about OU maybe 1 or 2 more years before they move on to the SEC. But OU got through. They did the right. They made the right hire. And you talked about Joe C, and he did. I think what he got, he's done a great job. And same thing with you know, Mike Gundy. I think he's done a great job at Oklahoma State. He's been there for many years. Yeah. I know he's tinkered about going somewhere, but he ain't going nowhere, man. That's home.
That's his
baby.
alma mater. It's
home. His home, baby.
You know, so
home.
Where his kids was raised and everything
That's
like that.
That's
But
it.
yeah, back to high school basketball. There's a little bit of controversy in these 3A boys rankings.
Talk to me.
So you got Millwood sitting at 1, but they're 6-4, sitting at 1, and they have losses to Heritage Hall, a very close loss at the beginning of the year.
That's a good
Lost
team,
by a
B.
point. Yeah, they're a good team. Then they lose to, I think, the Oklahoma City Storm.
That Storm team is legit, man. I mean, we're supposed to have Angie's son on. He's a kid that was he was over at Choctaw. He's playing for OK Storm, and these guys playing big time tournaments. So we got to get him on the show and talk to him.
Yeah, and then they have a loss to Enid, and then a loss to OCA. And I think how these basketball rankings work, I think the coaches come together and vote on them. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but maybe Goolsby or they can correct me on that. But
Goolsby ain't talked to us since we started talking about the Yellow Jackets, man. He quit watching our show. I'm keeping 100, man. Goose used to call and check on me and see how it's going, but man, you start talking about the Yellow Jackets moving kids in, moving kids out, man. I ain't heard from Goose in a minute, and I'm just keeping it 100.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Did his kids go there or something?
Oh, his daughter, she was a Choctaw graduate. Both his daughters were Choctaw. I mean, he's a good guy. He's an OSSA guy, but he's been on the show. He was on the show.
Yeah, he was on the show with us last year. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, but I ain't heard
Let's
from
get
him,
him
man.
back on the show.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't.
He'll come talk to us. We'll give you a call.
We'll call you, Goose. Pick up. It's gonna say Peggy Kane.
Yeah. So. So these, so I don't know how they're getting these first place votes, and sitting at 6-4, and you got OCA sitting at 8-1, and OCA came out and beat Millwood, and they're still right behind.
But
it may be a situation where they had a few kids out due to COVID.
Yes.
They know that.
I mean, I understand that, but
at the end of the day, these coaches know though, man. I mean, they've been around these games. I mean, maybe they're missing 2 or 3 kids, and so hey, if they had Johnny and Lily or.
If this is the coaches, I mean that's their peers.
I mean they know. I mean at the end of February, talking the 1st of March, we can sit back and say, hey, on this day we talked about Millwood, but then hey, okay, that's why Millwood's ranked number 1 because hey, they got all their players back.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I think at the end of the day, like it'll all shake itself out. The top team will be at the top, and that it'll all be figured out. Still early in the season, so there's still a lot to be figured out. So, but yeah, and then Jones sitting at they're undefeated as well.
The boys,
the boys are undefeated right now.
They must not play nobody.
But let's see who they played. It'll tell me right here. They got they played the Oklahoma City Storm. Beat the Storm.
They beat the Storm.
Yep.
And probably beat the Storm JV team.
Then they beat Dale, Elk City, Chandler, and Idabel. So
you're talking about a team. Maybe the Storm's the only team that they played as a basketball team. The rest of them are farmer teams.
Man, some of those small schools.
I mean, Jones must have got somebody though, man. I'm just telling you.
I remember I played in middle school, and Jones was always the team to beat when I was in middle school. Yeah, middle school.
Did you have that hat?
Some of those guys do what? What'd you say?
I didn't say that.
Yeah, he did.
What'd you say?
I asked him, did he still have that hat?
Oh, was you wearing that hat back then?
Oh,
that was your warm up hat.
Yeah. I wore this to the game. It gave me a good look.
Good look.
Yeah.
What kind of player was you? Was you a 3-point shooter? Post guy? What was you? Finger roll?
I was just a playmaker. I like getting my guys open, getting my guys open shots, and then if I had an open shot, I'd take it. Okay. But yeah, that's throwing it way back. I was 6th grade, or 5th grade. So my first game was at Jones, and I think around that time they had just finished that new basketball stadium.
Yeah.
He was he was in the 6th grade playing against 3rd graders.
Tony.
What?
We gotta play 1-on-1. I'm tired of talking mess.
Man, we go live. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll put out some athletes. I'm gonna tell you who they getting it from.
You gonna Charles Barkley him?
I mean, I'm gonna shack them up, baby.
Shack? Like
that's
that?
fine. I'm gonna cross him up.
You gonna cross him up?
You're gonna be on the ground. He's gonna be grabbing his ankle. You're gonna have to call Zoe or Jessica out there to take him to the hospital, something like that. But
God, he's breaking ankles. I like it. Keep it 100.
But yeah,
high school.
But yeah, my first game was at Jones, and that was around the time that they just finished that basketball
stadium.
stadium.
Did you leave your mark there?
I did.
You blessed the court?
I blessed the court.
How many points did you have?
I put a couple good shots. I don't know. I was like 10, 11 years old at that time.
Probably got about 6 strong ones.
I think so. 6 strong ones. That sounds about right. Dished out a couple assists, got some rebounds, some steals.
Boom.
Lighten up the stat sheet in every category.
Okay.
Christmas, huh?
I was an all-around player. I wasn't all around.
Okay.
So
I like it, E. I like it.
And then I lost my touch as I got into middle school and high school, but that's all right. I don't
People
know.
started moving in.
He started playing the Nintendo.
Hey,
Well,
you
well,
said other
my
people
parents-
started moving in. Ain't that what y'all keep telling me?
So in seventh
There's some
grade,
kids moving in.
Y'all
What
keep
school-
telling me, you get over there.
What school was he at?
Oh, yeah, what school was you? It wasn't at your...
I was at Choctaw.
Oh, they had some kids move in?
That's
Not
what
at that
y'all-
time.
That's what... Oh, not
Not that time?
But
That was later in your career?
but
why
yeah.
y'all
So
fuck
I
that
think
nigga?
what had happened was my parents made me sit out my 7th grade year because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to in the classroom. So they pulled me out of basketball, and then by the time that I came back to it, they
too
already
rusty.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I was rusty, but they already had their guys. They had guys that had played 7th grade. They knew what was coming up in the 8th grade, and then they didn't know who I was, so I had to go out there and try out, and didn't end up making the team, but everything worked out within reason. So I'm here, and that was all a long time ago.
Hey, I'm glad you're here because if you'd have panned out to be a great college basketball player, we would have you on this show. So it worked out for our favor to have you over here.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a little rundown of my short-lived basketball career back when I was like 10 to
But we
12
gonna
years
see
old.
it again.
Yeah, we got to see
Y'all two
this.
get out there.
I still got a little bit of something, but
Got a little bit.
I got a little bit of
You got
something.
what
I
was you
be
a good shooter or what? You had good ball handling skills.
definitely not ball handling.
Hustle
I'm the hustle man, and then
Okay.
I can knock down some shots when I need to. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I wouldn't say I'm not great at all, but I definitely think I'm better than this old head over here. So.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. Put some money on
I probably
that.
could have beat him in his prime, to be honest. So.
No.
I
Zoe
think,
beat him, man.
No, don't
Man.
don't get
to
it
be honest, I
twisted.
don't even know if I could beat Zoe. I was shooting out
Right.
there one time with her. She was knocking down everything. And I was like,
I'm
okay.
going to tell you, Big E, we're going to keep this 100.
played
We're going
one.
to take a quick break. Where we can, the people that help pay for these scholarships can do a sponsor. But E, you're not going to, only thing you might beat me in, and I'm going to keep it 100.
What's that?
100.
What's that?
We'll be right back after one of these. We'll be back after one of what?
After one of our sponsors,
Keep it 100 what?
Oklahoma High School Sports.
Yes.
With 25 years experience in the industry, Linex Customs OKC is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle accessory needs. Specializing in spray-in liners, lifts, levels, wheels, tires, bed covers, and anything else you need to make your ride look and sound better. Call Eric and the boys at 405-778-8878.
Welcome back to Keeping It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. Let's talk a little bit about these wrestling rankings we got going on. So, Tony, he's a big fan of wrestling. He knows the wrestling far more than I do. And then RT as well with his son wrestling with the Carl Albert Titans. But let's get into these wrestling rankings. So in 6A at 1, you got Stillwater.
Stillwater, it could be Stillwater or Edmond North. You know.
Edmond North is right up there too at 2.
Edmond North
So-
got a lot of
Yes,
younger kids.
that's
so
it.
They
Big-
get, man.
Hey, Edmond North has done a real good job. You know, Coach Snyder, last year he started like out of the 13 weights, I think he started 9 to 10 true freshmen. You know, 2 of them moving in from Choctaw. That was a big loss to Benny, losing those 2 kids. Both going over there. With Hunter, and then it's been tough. And then Ricky, bigger heavyweight kid, like 170, 180 kid, and then Hunter. They both was in the finals of the state championship last year as true freshmen. Now they come back as sophomore. Edmond North is one of the top teams in the state. They could easily be number 1. Stillwater got a bunch of kids that's moved in. You got the Ferrari boys. They got 3 or 4 kids that signed to go to Oklahoma State. Who's number 3 at this time?
Broken Arrow and Choctaw are tied at 3.
Broken Arrow, they've lost some. Choctaw, Benny still got some guys coming back with Sean Mutes. His son Zeke Coleman, with Moreau. They went down to the Tournament of Champions in Reno. That's a tough tournament. I think out of 2016 they took 13th. They only had 1 kid place, and then they had the young lady that was on the show that plays Peyton.
Peyton Hand.
Yeah, that she's placed. But I just tell you right now, Benny, I mean, they're going to compete, in the 6A, but, it's going to be tough to compete with, Broken Arrow, Stillwater, and, especially a team like Edmond, Edmond North, with that many freshmen, now sophomore guys that got experience. And they went down and they won the big tournament just a couple weeks ago. Edmond North did after, and I want to say in Kansas City. It might have been a Stampede. I don't know. It was a Midwest tournament. It was a big tournament. So that just kind of shows you where they're at. And like I said, it's going to come down to them and Stillwater. Don't count out Bigsby. Bigsby always find a tough way. Find a way to get in there. It takes a couple upsets to win. All you really need to win a state championship in wrestling. Choctaw won a couple while my son Gabe was there. You need about 4 or 5 kids. You probably need 3 kids to win state. And then, get some of those kids on the backside to get you some points, and then you can rack it up. So don't count out Choctaw, because Coach Coleman, he's a legend. I mean, he's Benny Coleman, man. He's a Greek the freak, man. Along with his wife Teresa, helping them with that team. And Dustin Woods is back, and he's got some other guys. He's lost some coaches, but I can see Benny's down to his last few years of coaching. Don't be surprised if Zane Coleman rekindles that team and get them going, or Colt Newton, one of the guys that used to wrestle for him, that can come back and take over the herd of Choctaw wrestling. So, good luck to them. Like I said, I mean, that Reno tournament is a tough tournament. I know it was probably didn't happen last year because of COVID. So everybody's anxious to get out and get in these big tournaments. But, like I said, Choctaw will be in the mix, but I don't think they can win it.
Yeah. And then, 5, you got Mustang, Yukon at 6, Bixby at 7, Edmond Memorial at 8, Ponca City at 9, and Union at 10.
Mustang's good. I could see Piccolo bouncing. Both his boys are at OU now, and he's down to his last nitty gritty kids that he's coached when he coached the Matrix team. So I can see Piccolo bouncing. His daughter's up at Oklahoma State, playing soccer, and both his boys over at OU wrestling. So I could see him, taking a journey and becoming one assistant at OU. I mean, he wrestled at Michigan State, so the guy knows his stuff, man. So. I can see him making that move. You talk at Edmond Memorial. They probably got a couple of kids, but, they're not going to be I'm just telling you right now that the Win State in 6A wrestling it's going to be, Bigsby will be in the mix. It'll be Stillwater, Edmond North, or, who's number 3?
In 6A?
Yes.
It's a tie between Broken Arrow and Choctaw.
Yeah, Broken Arrow, and Choctaw, they'll be it there, but it's going to come down to Edmond North and Stillwater. That'd be your state champion this year.
And then moving on to 5A.
5A.
Got Collinsville at 1. Hey, and
Collinsville is just tough,
they've been doing
tough,
one football state championship. Yep. Their basketball teams are doing good. Now they're sitting up top in wrestling as well.
And they won a few, man. Last year they had a couple kids get in trouble, doing some stuff on Snapchat. Their best wrestler, Jordan Williams, he ended up moving to Owasso. He was part of that little whatever happened. I don't know the whole story, but he's part of the little Snapchat, and that's why you young men and women stay off Snapchat. Yeah. Don't do dumb things that can get out there, because you might think it go away, but it never goes away. It never goes away. So they lost a tough kid in Jordan Williams. He signed with Oklahoma State, but they still got some other guys. There's one thing about Collinsville, man. They just it's like Tuttle. They just keep spitting them out. So. Good luck to them. Who else is in there?
El Reno's at 2, Duncan's at 3, Glenpool at 4, Sapulpa at 5, Guthrie at 6, Pryor at 7, Coweta at 8, Grove at 9, and Elgin at 10.
Coweta, they lost their coach, Coach White to Arkansas, Little Rock. He went up there to be assistant head coach. So, he's up there with Neil Emerson, a guy that he wrestled with at Oklahoma State. I know a lot about the Arkansas Little Rock. My kid got recruited by him. They're up and coming Division I program.
And that was the Coweta coach.
Coach White.
How long was he at Coweta before?
He was at Coweta for 1 or 2 years, and he was at Edmond Memorial. And Coach White wrestled at Oklahoma State, All American. So good coach, good man, real good man. I tell you, maybe if he was there, my son might have went to Little Rock. But Coach White's a really, really good guy. Good guy.
Yeah. Moving on to 4A.
4A.
Number 1, Tuttle.
Tuttle.
There.
Tuttle is kind of, they're not Tuttle like they used to be. They lost their coach. He became their principal. His son's wrestling at heavyweight. So I just tell you, they're not the same team as they used to be, man. When Tuttle walked in the room, everybody was like, "Oh, Tuttle's in the house." But now it's not like that no more. They're still a great wrestling program. It's kind of like Perry. They both have fallen off a little bit, so you're not scared when you see a Tuttle kid in your bracket like you used to be.
Yeah. And then 2, you got Skiatook. 3, you got Cushing. Or at 3, you have a 2A tie between Cushing and Heritage Hall. And then you got at 5, you got Catoosa. 6, Blanchard. 7, Fort Gibson. 8, Stillwell. 9, Wagner. And 10, Bridge Creek.
Real quick, I'm going to give a little bit of shout out to Blanchard. It's Coach Hill, a guy that wrestled at Tuttle, was at Choctaw for a little bit. Cody Hill, great coach, man, a good guy.
Yeah.
He got the chance to coach my son when he was at Choctaw. I think a lot of Cody Hill, what he's done with Blanchard. He's right there knocking on the door, knocking Tuttle off. You give him a few more years, man. He took that move to go to Blanchard, and he's done some big things.
Shout out to Coach Hill. He coached me my freshman year of football. It was my first year of football. And he's
coach.
he was one of the coaches that made me fall in love with football. So a big shout out to Coach Hill.
He made you quit basketball and go to football?
Nah, I made that decision myself. But but no, like he was that guy. He knew it was my first year, and he would he'd go the extra mile to help me out and help me understand the game a little more. At that time, I was playing a little bit of defense, playing some safety, so he took it amongst himself to give me a little extra coaching. So
great job, Coach Hill.
Yeah, so shout out to Coach Hill. But moving on to 3A, at number 1 you got Jay, 2 you got Marlowe, 3 Blackwell, 4 Veneta, 5 Salina, 6 Comanche, Castle Hall 7, Anola 8, Sperry 9, and Perry 10.
That's big time. I'll tell you, who was number 2?
Marlowe.
Marlowe's a team, Michael Leitner, big time wrestlers, one assistant head coaches at OU. Back in the young days, man, they were one of the top notch teams in the state of Oklahoma. It just tells you, man, these classes has changed so much, but I mean, they're a good program. So 3A is kind of open. Anybody can win it, man. Comanche's not a bad team. Jay's a surprise. I think you said Jay was number 1.
Yeah, they're sitting at
Jay's
10
surprise.
I guess that goes by duels.
Not Livy, but Zoe's basketball coach, Chase Youngblood. He's from Jay, man. It's a little small town, and you think, man, but I just tell you, you start, like RT said earlier, you start putting those little towns together. It was from wrestling to basketball, and that's all they do 24/7. They're going to be good. So it's cool to see Jay on that list because, last few years they've been fighting to get up there, but now you see him as number 1. So great job to Jay and their wrestling program.
Yeah, but that's all for the wrestling rankings. It doesn't have on here the class 2A or A rankings on there.
But like I said, we're kind of in the dead period right now. Man, we just kind of want to get together and show our face again. There's some good things going on. One of the things, John Madden, one of the legends of
rest in peace.
NFL football, man. Everybody know Madden from the Madden football game.
Yep.
Every young man, woman, whoever, wife's, girlfriend knows about their boyfriend getting that Madden game when they come out. I remember it used to come out on Thanksgiving weekend, man, and me and my boy Danny McComb would save our little money and go play it, on the Sega Genesis. Nowadays it's gotten so better, it looks like it's real. I mean, people's walking in the house and like, man, what game is that? I didn't know it was an NFL game tonight, and that's what it looks like. So, he rests in peace. 85 years old, man. I don't think there's one bad thing you could talk about. John Madden, he's always been a legend, in the broadcast booth, coaching wherever he's done. But like I said, big shout out to him and his family. Like I said, he's done a lot of great things for the NFL, football, and touching a lot of people in all different ways. So, may he rest in peace. Absolutely. John Madden himself.
Yeah. But I think that's going to do it for us at Keep It 100. But we appreciate you guys tuning in every single week. Appreciate y'all's feedback when y'all give it. And then, liking and retweeting and, our stuff, helping push our brand and getting it out there. So, just keep liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing our posts and everything like that. Help us get on the map. We're on the edge of something great over here. Just like Tony said earlier in the show, we just Jessica just gifted Tony with the LLC. So congratulations to Tony on officially becoming a business owner.
It's not just me being in business. All three of us been in business owner. Because
sure. But you're the one that started this.
I understand, but you guys are my brothers, though, man. I couldn't do the show without you guys, and y'all a big part of the show. I know sometimes we might fight like brothers, but at the end of the day, man, I mean, I love you too, like you are my brothers. I mean, like you are Jonah and Jerry, because this show would not be Keeping 100 without Ethan Davis or RT Sherman, known as Big RT. And I tell you, man, I mean, we are trying to do bigger things, you know, with the scholarships and making this better and doing better things for this show, because at the end of the day, I don't think no one brings it like we do. I think, you know, some coaches might say, man, those guys are tough, but at the end of the day, we keep it real, man.
But that's what makes us unique. We're not afraid to have those difficult conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and you got to have a grown up conversation, because like I said, I need to work on my things that I'm weak at, and where I might be weak at, he's strong at, and what he might be weak at, he's strong at. So we all bounce off each other, you know, and, you know, we didn't really get into this, and I will say this, and nothing bad. But, you know, I mean, something happened bad a couple months ago, but, you know, to the kid that did pass away, you know, hopefully, you know, young men and women can learn from this is that, hey, you know, just be careful what you're doing out there in life. Every day is a different journey. Every day takes a different turn. So from riding a bike to driving a car or driving a motorcycle, be careful, you know, because, you know, I'm not going to get into this because, you know, at the end of the day, this young man is still a young man and he deserves his life too. And anybody knows what we're talking about and has watched any news or sports animal or any franchise has talked about this on the news. But, you know, I think everybody deserves a second chance. I've known about this for a while. I wasn't never going to put this man's business out there because at the end of the day, his mom is going through a lot dealing with this and the
so
coaches.
So
is the victim,
well.
yes. And so, you know, I just hope that, you know, kudos to Gundy. I know people are like, man, why? But at the end of the day, it's all about giving kids second chance because think about it. Everybody in this room in this world has made mistakes and we all deserve a second chance. I mean, no one's perfect. I've done a lot of dumb things in my life and I'm going to continue doing dumb things in my life because that's the way life is, you know, and when you become perfect, that's when the man come and get you and bring you home. But right now we're down here teaching. So, like I said, it's a sad situation, but it's a tough situation though. And, I hope everybody can learn from it, you know, from the coaching to the parents to the victim, you know, cause nobody wins in this, you know, I tell you right now, Mr. Brown's, I mean, I'm telling you, this kid is not happy about what happened and you know, people can say, well, they kept it a secret, but at the end of the day, he's a minor. I mean, and put yourself in, as that was your kid in both situations because it's tough and we've all talked about it. So, like I said, good luck to him at Oklahoma State and I hope everything pans out for the best because at the end of the day, you know, I don't know the kid. He knows him more than I do. My kids only played with him 1 year. Like I said, you know, I don't think he was out joyriding looking, hey, I'm gonna go knock somebody off, you know, but I don't think that's what it was part about, you know, and people try to make it that. And, you know, at the end of the day, man, I mean, he did what he had to do. I mean, let it go and let's move on forward because, you know, put yourself in both parties, you know.
And I get what you're saying, you know, things happen. You can't really go back and change anything and move forward, but, you know, everybody grieve different ways.
Yes,
so
sir.
It may be harder for some. You know,
sir.
My heart goes out to those victims.
Absolutely.
Man, you know, you can put we both got boys.
Yes, sir.
You can put them in both situations,
Yes, sir.
and it's terrible. You know, it's like, you know, one situation you grieving someone who's gone. The other situation you grieving someone who's not gone.
Yeah.
Because it just to be able to live with that. But, you know, each day, you know, is a healing opportunity with time, and hopefully we learn from it and continue to educate everyone, how serious it is, and you know, every day of life.
Yeah,
it's a tough situation, man. I tell you this, man. You know, reading the police reports and all the things that went on, man. I'm telling you right now, I don't know how Mr. Brown's doing it because it'd be tough, man. Listen to people bash you on Twitter, and you know, I know a couple months ago, you know, Coach EJ Tillinger kind of came after me, and I know why. I mean, that's his guy, and you know, I mean, kudos to Coach for doing that, sticking up for your guy, because that's what you're supposed to do as a coach, as a father figure, as a man, you know, and you know,
in that same breath,
the
victim's family is taking up for that victim. As well.
I mean, I'm talking about how he told me I need to stock shelves, and you know, I know he was probably trying to protect Deshaun at that time because what was going on. Because when this happened, I knew what happened. I never came on Keep It 100, and I'm not gonna blast no kid, not no young man. You know, I might joke about jumping off sides and stuff like that.
But that's the thing, Tony, and this is me keeping it real. I mean, it is what it is. You see it in all sports, from CNN to the local newspaper.
Yes, sir.
It's okay for others to touch on it, but if you touch on it and someone calls you out, I hope they giving that same energy to the others who are covering and calling out the same opportunities.
But
news is what it is.
It is,
good,
but you know,
bad, ugly. You got to report it.
But you got to realize though, RT. You know, I've been known that I'm a Choctaw hater. You know, a guy came to me the other day. I was at Target, you know, shopping, and he said, "Hey, man, such and such wife, you know, it was the wife of you know, one of the. It's not Corbin's wife. It's, you know, Hesper's wife. You know, she's like, man, Tony used to do so much for Choctaw. It's like he don't do that much now. Well, one of my boys are going from Choctaw. I started this show. This show is not bash Choctaw. I got a guy from Choctaw on this deal. I got a guy from Carl Albert. Kids went to Carl Albert. We went to Mill City. So it's not that it's a bash Choctaw. It's just some of the things that's happened at Choctaw that I didn't like, and it's nothing that, you know. I want the best for everybody. I mean, I saw Coach Brian a couple weeks ago at one of the wrestling matches at UCO. I've seen Coach Porter. I mean, I don't dislike any of those coaches. I might not agree with everything those coaches have done. I might not agree with everything that Coach Jones does at Dell City, or Coach Dunn does at Carl Albert, or Coach Hall. Doesn't mean I don't like those guys. I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, do I like Corbin? I think Corbin's a hell of a family man. He takes care of his
job out there.
Yeah, he's done a good job out there. You know, it's some of the things right or wrong. I don't know. You know, that's not for me to be the judge. I mean, for me to talk about, hell yeah, it's a good story. I mean, why would you not talk about it? But at the end of the day, he's done some good stuff. I mean, RT asked my son Gabe the other night, you know, how you feel about Corbin. And what did he say? He's a Corbin fan. I mean, because Gabe loves. I mean, it's not that, hey, I dislike Corbin. He did good things for my boys, you know. At the end of the day, it's not, oh, Tony's mad at. No, I mean, if I saw the dude tomorrow, if he was broke down, I'm going to pick him up and his family up and give him a ride. At the end of the day, this is a show called Keep It 100. But at the end of the day, he's still a man, and I respect every man. Until he do me wrong, or, you know, I heard him say anything about my wife and kids, we cool, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's a show. So anybody that likes to run back and say, oh, Tony said this about you, man, you can pick up my phone. He has my number. I mean, when I was giving out bio, he was one of the first person I called. Yeah. Him and Aaron, you know. So it's not that I hate Choctaw. Like I said, with the Deshaun Brown thing, I knew when it first happened. I wasn't right there when the phone call was made, but I knew when the phone call was made, because I tell you, people come and talk to me. I mean, I can get on this show and blast a lot.
Your role now, yeah. you have a platform to where you discuss news.
Yeah.
And
no, I'm not a journalist.
Well,
I like to report it
in your own way. And you know, like I said, good, bad, and ugly. You have to talk about it. Oftentimes, you know, everyone's for you when it's all good, but you know, if there's some room for opportunities, a lot of people don't like to face that.
No, they don't.
And you know, you just got to continue to stay consistent and reporting good, bad, and ugly, and whatever happens.
I never forget that one night you came over here before you even came on the show, and you said, "Tony, you got to quit being scared to talk about things that's out there that might put people to the edge, because that's what it's all about, man. Because I'm telling you right now." Stephen A. Smith, granted, I don't get paid Stephen A. Smith money, but that's what he's good at. He's good at talking. He's good at talking bad about the Lakers. The other night, he talked so bad about my damn Lakers and LeBron, I was ready to scream, and I'm at the Thunder game, you know. But he kept it real with me, and that's the same intensity I want him to bring to this show, because you know what? He's a young journalist. He got more years and time than me and RT. He can go to that next level. He just puts that little bit extra work in, because he's good at it. Every week he's got better at what he's doing. And when you talk about OU football, man, this guy goes to another level. High school football, yeah, he's not there, but he will get there. But that's why we all bring something different to the table. You know, I know high school football. I know high school wrestling. I get out there and I call these coaches and I text these coaches. And that's why I said, you know, like you said earlier, this is what's going to put this show apart from others, you know, because we're going to do everything that's right to for the kids, you know, right, and that's why we're dropping the Keep It 100 scholarship. But like I said, at the end of the day, good luck today, Sean, what he's going to do on his next journey. And I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. And like I said, good luck to the young man's family that lost a kid. But at the end of the day, man, God got the plan. He does. He's ready for you to come home, and at that time, he's ready for that young man to come home. So Good luck to him. And that's all I got to say. Keep it 100.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be back at it maybe in another week or so, every other week.
Pick up.
Yeah, when things start picking back up here in the next week, all the schools are out on break right now. I mean, you got some tournaments going on with basketball and stuff, but back into the swing of things here in back a couple weeks. What a great show to close out the year. Great year to keep it 100 this year.
100, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know what episode this is, but Biggie, we've been doing it for a while and adding RT with us, man. Like I said, we're going to just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and doing the right things for and like I said, man, I am blessed to have you two part of me. Really,
Likewise.
I really do. I love having you guys sit next to me.
It's fun for me. It's not a job.
No, it is. It is fun. Like
just
I said,
having good conversation.
Good conversation, and I think what we bring is really good stuff. I think we try not to bore you to death, but I think we bring different topics and we kind of stay. RT's kind of slapped me around and said, make sure we stay on the agenda. So
yeah.
But thank you. Happy New Year from Keep It 100.
Absolutely.
Be safe this Friday night. Be safe. The show should drop Friday night. So while you out fixing to get your club on, your dance on, your freak on, whatever you're going to do, but be careful. Think about it before you pick up that wheel and drink and drive. Call Uber Steve. He will be out. Call Litz. Call somebody. Call a taxi. Call me. I don't care. I will get you picked up and get you home safe because I'm telling you right now, it's all about being safe. Yeah. You do not want to have to start your car by doing this. Blowing in the breath detector.
Now we got to get a new microphone.
Oh, man. My breath is fresh. I got to do one of them. Oh, I got a good toothbrush. My wife got one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, be safe and Happy New Year from Keep It What?
Keep It 100, Oklahoma High School Sports.
See ya 2022.